Peter Woods might be the most dominant defensive tackle in the 2026 NFL Draft. Here's why he's a surefire first rounder in 2026. The main guy leading the discussion for the best defensive tackle in the 2026 NFL Draft, it's gotta be Peter Woods from Clemson. Ryan, you and I, both big fans. What stands out to you the most about him?
I mean, he fits the profile of low to the ground, built to play with great leverage all the time. He's explosive. But Joe, this kid's so athletic, and I think we haven't even seen the full scope of his upside, but he's so athletic that, you know what Clemson did in 2024? And I think it was a stupid decision, but they're like, hey, we're going to put him on the edge a lot at 6'2.5", probably, and 310 pounds. Like, he's not a long guy, and he should not be playing on the edge, but he's so athletic that Clemson said, to get as many defense tackles on the field as we possibly can, Peter Woods is athletic enough to play on the edge. And he had some impactful plays from there. So I think this is a versatile, incredibly athletic, twitched up interior defensive lineman that I think has a ton of upside that you can still tap into.
Absolutely. The athleticism shines every single play. First step is something that I always write down if it stands out to me. Ed Orgeron, one of the greatest defensive line coaches that we've had in the last 30 years, I have read multiple times him referencing that if you have a guy with a great first step, that guy's going to find a way to win. That guy, maybe he loses initially in a rep, but because he's off the ball so quickly, it's a significant advantage. I think one thing that's interesting is that he's listed at 6'3". It's probably a little closer to 6'2", but he plays so low to the ground. If you told me he was 5'11", the way that he looks on film by how low he plays, I'd be like, sure, that makes sense. That makes total sense. He looks shorter than he is in a good way, that he plays so low and underneath offensive linemen. This is every single box checked for an interior guy that's just going to be a freaking headache, quick-footed, just a spark plug. You know, he's not your space heater. He's the complete opposite. He is the guy that is just going to be jolting around and causing problems because he's that quick-footed and plays with such great pad level.
The two biggest godsends this offseason for Peter Woods is one, new defensive coordinator, Tom Allen, a respected defensive mind in the industry. And the other one is they got Will Helt from Purdue as a transfer defensive end. So you know what that means, Joe? Peter Woods will be playing inside the majority of the time in 2025. And I can't wait, dude. He is a bowling ball of chaos. Like, he's a bowling ball of twitch. He is just an incredibly explosive player. Reminds me a little bit, and he's a bigger profile, but like Jarrell Casey that used to play with the Tennessee Titans was kind of the same guy, man. Like, built low to the ground, incredible first step. This is kind of the same player. Even though he is a smaller guy by NFL standards in terms of height and length, probably only about 6'2", probably just average length for the position from an arm length perspective, I do think that he could play in between both even and odd fronts because of the explosiveness and the power that he has. So we have not even seen close to the upside of Peter Woods as far as how good he can be. And I anticipate that we're going to see a lot more of that in 2025.
Hitting on his background in the 2023 class, him and TJ Parker, by the way, I found this out, both came from Alabama. That's super intriguing and also kind of silly that the Crimson Tide weren't in on both of these guys and super aggressive about getting them. He was the 8th overall defensive lineman, 59th ranked recruit, and the 6th recruit in the state of Alabama per 247 Sports. He was also on a very, very storied program where he played in Alabama for Thompson, where he won multiple state championships.
Yeah, and the state of Alabama has just gotten better and better over the last few years of developing talent. Like, I feel like we always think of Texas, Florida, California, and Georgia has been another one that's been crazy the last few years. But Alabama's been trending upward. And yeah, for Clemson to be able to tap into that Alabama pipeline a couple years ago, you think of the great tradition that the defensive line has now been at Clemson. Guys like Christian Wilkins, guys like Dexter Lawrence. Like, there's been so many great defensive linemen that have come through. And Peter Woods is obviously continuing that tradition.
Folks, comment below, how early would you draft Peter Woods? Hit the like button, and we'll talk to you later.